Hi, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel, I Present with BT. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, share it, hit the like button, tell others about I Present with BT. We are here where we're all about the diaspora and the sentiments that come with living in the diaspora. Our show is about family and education and children and friends and all the fun things there is about the diaspora and thriving in the diaspora. Bear with me if I mention God because He's a part of who I am. He's in me, He's in my past, my present, my future, and I can't help myself. Today we have an amazing guest. Actually, we had one this morning. Unfortunately, I had no idea how to operate my StreamYard, and we ended up having a 2 hour chat that did not get recorded, which was so unfortunate. Carol, thank you so much for your time. And hopefully we'll be able to make some time because Kara is so busy. So we can have her again on this show to talk about how to transition from nursing to medicine in Uganda and also how to transition from practicing in Uganda as a physician to practicing in the UK as a medical doctor. So I'm looking forward to that. And I definitely want to host Carol again for parenting advice and all that stuff because she's a mom and she's a Nalongo, a mom of twins. So that's a big deal in the African culture. Well, welcome again. Well, as we wait for Claire, I just wanted to, well, so if you don't know Claire, she's going to tell you who she is, but she has an amazing journey about transitioning from psychology to nursing. And she's a mom and a wife. And so she has a lot of insight in balancing being a parent, a spouse, and also a working mom, right? So I can't wait to have her. So those of you who didn't see our little reminder video about FAFSA, it's October 1st. I know it's almost the 25th, and some of you are crumbling and scrambling, trying to finish the FAFSA submitting, and the website is crashing. I really apologize for that. If you are hearing FAFSA for the first time and you're in your senior year, you're finishing high school and you're planning to go to college, please go ahead and apply or open an ID for you, an ID for your mom or your dad or whoever is taking care of you. Well, if it's a guardian, you don't have to. It has to be a parent. Well, Claire is here, so I'm going to just let her in.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Hi, Claire. Oh, I'm so
Hi.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to have you here. We were talking about FAFSA, and this morning we had Carol on the show, and I did not record. I didn't hit the live button, so we missed
No
all the. I
kidding.
know, no kidding.
What?
No kidding. I know. So I'm sure I'm 100% that okay, we are going live and we'll be able to hear the good stuff you have for us today. I'm hoping and praying that Carol finds time because she's a busy mom with twins, 3 babies. She has 3 girls.
Hey.
I know.
Oh, yeah,
So,
she must
so
be
she
busy.
really squeezed to be here, and
I
unfortunately she
know.
couldn't.
Unfortunately, yes, yes.
How are
That,
you?
I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I know you're busy.
Eh. I'm busy indeed. Yeah.
I'm glad that you made it here. Let me know whenever you're ready and settled so we can just dive right in.
Okay. The
Yes.
problem is
We can
Ava might be popping in and out and stuff
no,
because
for sure.
she just won't leave me alone. So
Yes, and we
yeah,
want to
but
see her. We want her to be a part of the show. I mean, this is our reality, right? This is
yes, it
our
is. It
reality. In
is.
Uganda, you say, "Oh, Jango Twalo Mwana," and you have the luxury of somebody
And you have
coming,
a lot
putting
there,
the
yes,
baby, so you can
yes.
attend
But
your work
here we don't
meeting.
have that.
You're
Yeah, we don't
everywhere.
have that. You're everything. You
You're
have to be
everything.
everywhere all the time.
Everywhere,
Yeah.
all the time. You're the mom. You're the
Yes.
chef. You're the chauffeur.
You're the cleaner.
You're the cleaner.
You're the
Like,
doctor.
you're the
You're the
hugger, the
nurse.
doctor. Oh my
You're
goodness.
everything. Yes, yes. That's
Yes.
very, very true. Now, yeah, yeah.
More power to
We'll
every
leave it
parent
up.
who's doing it.
Yeah. Now we'll leave
Yeah.
it up. And pull and pull.
And Paula, we'll be okay. We'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
okay.
How are your kids?
I put them in bed. I put them in bed,
Oh,
and I'm looking
see.
at them from like, look. Let me see. How do I
Oh,
make
the
it?
camera.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's how they are. They actually, it's so funny because they have another bout of a cold. So I do
Oh.
not know what
Mm.
we're not doing right. We're going to make sure we change our filter today and just make
Okay.
sure that, yeah, because it's crazy. Like
Do
they
they
go
go
to a
to
local
daycare?
daycare. They do, but it's
Oh.
just five of them. It's just
Oh, yeah,
five
yeah,
of
yeah.
them, and right now all of them are only children except my two kids. So
Yeah.
it's so hard to know where that little thing is coming from. Hi, hi.
Right.
Yeah, it's so hard to
Yeah.
know where everything is coming from. So,
Right, right.
oh my God, yeah.
Well,
Who?
sometimes
Yeah,
it just happens because one child might get it from the parent or from a play date, and there it comes. You can't. You
you
even if it's
can't.
five kids, they bring it. They bring
They
it somehow. It
somehow.
doesn't matter.
Somehow. So last night we were up all night with Natalie. Nene somehow managed to sleep throughout with his little congestion, but Natalie was definitely up the whole night until now. Hopefully she takes a good nap. She's still being
She's
herself,
still trying. She's still trying to
roaming,
sleep. Yeah.
roaming in her bed, but she'll be okay.
Yeah. She'll be okay.
She'll be
She'll
okay.
get through it somehow.
Well,
Yeah.
Claire, introduce yourself. Who is Claire? What are you about? What makes you tick? What makes your world go round?
Well, my name is Claire. My first name is Queen. But I check,
Queen.
yeah, QUINN, and
Yes.
Ava is popping in every so often.
Yes.
But anyway, I'm Claire Quinn. People know me as Claire,
Yes.
Nachinji Ochodo. I'm
Yes.
married and
Yes.
I have one daughter, and we're expecting
Hey,
another.
I saw that. Oh my
You saw that? Oh,
goodness. Like now, right now, when you're trying to settle in, I was going to ask, I'm like, Claire, is that another baby in the, is that another band, a baby in the
I
band?
know. Yes, yes, yes. You beat me
Congratulations.
to it. You beat me to it.
Oh my
But
God, you
I was not
girl.
ready at the time.
No,
Yeah.
I think you made the right
Yeah.
choice. I
Yeah.
thought it was easy. It's not. It's like having twins. So you
Mm,
need to test
yes.
yourself. It can be
Yes.
too
I
much
had to.
sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, it is. No, we have to do it.
Somehow.
There's never a right time. Yeah. There's
That's what
never
my
a
brother
right time.
That's what my
Mm,
brother Isaac said. He always used to
mm,
say, because I always felt like getting married and starting a family, like I had to prepare like 1,000 times mentally in every way. And he always said, there's
mm.
never a right time. There's never a right time.
Yeah, and congratulations to him. They're expecting.
Yes, yes. Oh,
Ah,
I'm telling
I
you,
know. Isn't that
I
so cute?
that baby, I don't know why I feel like I really love that baby even before I meet them. Like I love her. I feel like I just want to hug her. Unfortunately, this babysitter called Natalie is so far away. I wish she
Yes.
was close by
You.
so we
I
can get to
know.
meet.
I know. Well, I have a feeling because you're very fond of your brother.
Yeah, I
I
think
think you are
think.
very fond of him. That's
Oh
why.
my God,
Yeah.
Isaac, Isaac,
Yeah.
Isaac
He's
is
a good guy. I like him too.
he's a good
Yeah.
guy. He's a
Yeah.
father, he's a brother. Like he's been everything. He's been
Mm.
a
Bambi,
friend.
he's a good guy.
Oh,
Your brother is a very
I
good guy.
know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I cannot. Yeah, I can't ask God for more because that's
Yeah.
a family
Yeah.
you don't choose. So when you
Mm.
land in a place where you have these amazing people around you like him,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. Yeah. So we're expecting another addition.
Ah, yeah. Yes,
It's
yes,
a
yes.
big deal. So
Yes,
Claire,
it is.
tell us
Yeah.
where are you? So this month of October, we have been focusing on education, and we realize that there's a part of education, like getting an education, and then there's a part of career. There are two different things. Because
Mm.
last weekend we had Basude, who is an engineer by trade, but then right now he's into management and stock. Like what he's doing for a career is totally different from what he did as an engineer, although it's all numbers, right? So
Yeah,
today
yeah,
we
yeah.
want to know your journey. And one of the things that people might not know about you is that you had your first part of your education in Uganda, and then you
Yeah.
transitioned here and you had to enter this system. which most people who come to America, like you come as a young adult and you had part of your education in Uganda, and then to transition. Others, your parents tell you, okay, pack your bags, we are moving to America, and then you land, you leave all your friends there. You don't even know. You come from a place where the teacher is always on your neck. Do your math numbers, do your science, to a place where you have to really be self-driven, and where the
Yeah,
teacher
and you have to work too.
you have to work while you
Yeah.
study. Yeah. So tell us
Yeah.
about your journey this whole time.
Well,
Mm,
yeah, well, I left Uganda when I was just at close to the end of my first year in university.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I moved here, and then obviously I jumped right into, college still at
Yes.
UMass Boston. I was
Yes.
there for 4 years.
Mm,
I was very undecided on what to do.
yes.
So I ended up, what do they call it? Declaring psychology because I had so many credits and I needed to graduate. And they kept
Yes.
asking me, you need to declare because I was very undecided. That was what it was even written like undecided. I had
Oh
not
my
decided
God.
the major. So I
Yes.
decided psychology, and it seemed very interesting. It's a very,
Mhm.
very good you know, uh, uh, degree,
Yes.
even in
Mm,
class and all,
mhm, mm.
all round.
Yes.
And eventually,
Mm-hmm.
I graduated in
Mm-hmm.
2009,
Mm.
and that's when the recession hit. There was no jobs.
Yes. There are no
There
jobs.
was no
Yes.
jobs. Yes. So I decided right there, like after a year, I think it
Mm-hmm.
was within that year, I decided to do it, to try nursing. I had done
Yes.
some nursing classes, but they were
Yes.
not, yeah. So I went to summer school. I used to go to summer school in
Mm-hmm.
Quincy College, which was
Yes.
close by, and I
Mm-hmm.
used to do some, prerequisites there. And I did
Mm-hmm.
a few of them. It was really, being that it's a 2 year college, and
Yes.
it's, yeah, it was really cheap and it worked. Even the times were good because sometimes I would do the evening, sometimes I would do like, classes in 5 weeks.
Oh
Some classes I
wow.
would do them in 5 weeks. So that
Oh
kind of like
wow.
speeded things up. Yeah.
Mm.
And then I started to apply to
Mm.
schools. And Northeastern, it was kind of tricky being that everyone had gone to school,
Mm-hmm.
but many of us did not have jobs.
Yes.
When I got accepted at Northeastern University, we
Mm-hmm.
found when you go into the room and everyone is introducing themselves, everyone that was accepted, they introduced themselves. It was mainly psychology,
Oh
sociology,
wow.
and social work.
Oh my
It
goodness. So
was
what
most of us.
transitioning, like a big part of
Yes,
your class was coming from, they had that background of psychology and
yes,
sociology. Oh
yeah,
wow.
and so yeah, that's
Mm.
most of us that were in the nursing class,
Yeah.
nursing school at the time. So
Mm-hmm.
I went to Northeastern, and it was rough being that it was hybrid. We were doing classes
Mm-hmm.
online and
Mm-hmm.
doing the clinicals or practicals on site.
Yeah.
So we had to do a lot of computer
Oh
work,
my
and we had
God.
to be on the computers a whole lot. It was like teaching yourself,
I,
literally.
yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate it because I did my master's online, University of Manchester, public health.
Right, right.
I'm like, oh my goodness. I was just grateful that I had a scholarship to do it, but I can't. It's so hard.
It is stressful.
You
Yeah.
people see people who have done like degrees online, and they're like, ah, that's easy. Oh no, it's hard
No, no,
work.
it's harder. It's
It's hard.
harder. Yeah,
Yes,
it is harder. It
and
was
I think,
very, very hard. I could not even work.
oh my
I had
God,
a job, but the good thing, this job was a night job, and I
yes,
could go there, study. Then, me and my friends would kind of like, when we had exams, would
yes,
wake each other up in the night in order to study.
to study,
Yeah, we
yes.
had to buy question banks, and it was very tough.
Oh
A
my
lot
God,
of people failed out, because it was very competitive. We had to
yes.
go like semester by semester. It was they used to weed us out. They used to
Oh
weed
my
people out. Yeah,
God.
you either repeat the class,
Or you
but it was
drop
also
out of the program.
or you drop out. Yeah, and
Wow.
it was also very expensive. It was about
That's what I
sixty
was going
thousand
to
dollars.
say. That how much was that? So let's back up a bit. So did you choose to do? There's the accelerated program.
Direct entry program. Yeah, direct entry,
Direct
accelerated. Yeah,
entry,
direct entry. Yes.
accelerated direct entry, where so you have to have a bachelor's degree in
Yeah.
anything, and then
Yes.
they use those general classes from that degree, and you just focus on the nursing classes.
Yes. You have to also have those prerequisites for nursing.
Which were
Yeah,
what?
but
The anatomy, physiology, and
anatomy, physiology, organic
mm,
chemistry, or chemistry one and two,
mm-hmm,
biology, microbiology. You
mm-hmm,
had to have math,
mm-hmm,
um, um, and maybe psychology. Yeah,
yeah,
psychology and statistics. There are quite a
statistics.
few. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you
Yeah.
have to, so you finish your bachelor's degree, then you do your prerequisites, which would they can last up to a year, 2 years. How long
It
do you think?
it depends on how quick you are at taking them.
Yeah.
Some people might take them maybe within a year and a half or two. But
Mm,
I did mine um, as I was getting my psychology degree. So for me, it was really like,
mm,
I just kind of transitioned,
yes.
something like that, because I had
Yes.
nursing at the back of my mind.
Your mind,
Yeah.
and then you transitioned.
And then, yeah.
Okay. So
But
so
as
you
long as the classes are not all, they're not up to 5 years old,
so as long as your classes, your general classes are not 5 years old, most of the
does not
schools that
the
have this,
nursing classes.
or the
Yes.
nursing classes have to be
Yes.
at least less
At
than 5 years
least.
old.
Yes.
Okay. For them to
Yes.
be accepted by the hybrid programs.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
and on
But
average, sorry, go ahead.
and for most schools, for them to
Mm.
have you transfer or take you, your classes have got to be at least 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
young. They're not supposed to be older than
You're
five
old.
years.
You're older than five
Yeah.
years. Yes.
Or yeah, they cannot be older than 5 years. So otherwise you might have to find yourself redoing things. So you cannot take too long taking classes.
Oh my God.
And
So
mm,
basically, you pace yourself, but don't pace yourself too much, because the first two classes you took 5 years ago might expire by the time you get admitted to that year. So you kind
right,
of
right.
want to be, and I think that's a thing that we need to ask people, because especially young men who move to the diaspora,
Mm,
my observation is that the women are courageous enough to start school and to change routes, like, yes, I was this, but now this is where, there's opportunities,
yes.
and they change route. So I think that's very important, because most times they're trying to study and work, or they just choose to work because they don't want to let go of their careers and focus on school.
Right,
but
right.
but in your opinion, you're better off just focusing and doing all these prerequisites and finishing instead of trying to juggle both.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's better to get one done and and then
Mm.
tackle the other. That's
Let's
what I would say. Yeah.
Claire, let's
Mm.
rewind a little bit. I'm so sorry, now I'm
Yeah.
taking you all the
That's
way
fine.
back.
That's
All the
fine.
way back. So when you came to Uganda, that process of you entering college. Hi, baby. So the process of you coming from Uganda and joining college, did you have a mentor who kind of worked with you to visit these schools? Did you just say, okay, this is the school that's next to my house, let me go and see how I can be a join? What was that whole process? And then also in terms of like financial aid, did your parents plan for you financially and take and pay the bill, or did you have to carry the bill? And most people don't realize that by getting a student loan, it is you carrying the bill, because that's a bill that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. So that part of you moving from Uganda, were you
Mm.
doing psychology in Uganda for your first year at uni?
No, I was undeclared. I think I was doing
In Uganda, you are doing business. That's why you had
business
said it.
management or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah,
yeah. And then
because
you
I
transitioned.
had some business classes. I
Yeah.
had some. Yeah,
And then you
and then
transition.
here.
And then you
Yeah.
transition here. How did you start? Like that whole search for schools, did you say, okay, this is a school next to me? Did you sit on a computer? Did you talk to somebody? Did your parents talk to somebody? What's that journey like, coming here and saying, okay,
Well, I asked a few people because I had cousins that
Natalie,
have.
go back to bed now. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You had a
So
few
I had,
cousins.
yeah,
Mm,
I've had a few cousins that were going to school at the time also. So, they used to kind of help me, guide me on what schools and what is
mm,
required, what's
yeah.
expected. And at the end of the day, it's also always good. And also, I had a younger sister who was in high school at the time, and she was really smart. So she
Yes.
also kind of like used to apply. She also knew some schools, being that she was more studious.
Yes.
Yes, so she
Yes.
knew a couple of things.
Mm.
She was also kind of like my
Your
guide to
guide.
some a
Yes.
little, yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
anyway, you must that one. I don't know. I will not tell you how I found out about that one, but
Mm.
it was also one of the reasons that I went there is because it's a state college,
So it's
and it was gonna
affordable.
it's
Yes.
affordable, and it was a 4 year college. I did not want
Four-year
to go to a 2 year.
college.
Yeah, I
Yes.
wanted to get a real degree. I
Yes.
wasn't trying to get an associate.
Nice. And
Yes.
that's important. I mean, that's something that seniors need to think about right now, because most times they think of college and they just think private, public, but they don't realize that there are some public schools, that there are some public colleges that are 2 years, and there are some public colleges that are 4 years. So the
Yes,
2 years
yes,
give us an
yes.
associate, but the
Yes.
4 years give us a
Give you
full
a bachelor's.
degree, a
Yeah,
bachelor's
bachelor's
degree,
degree.
which is
Yes.
what we want. Because
Yes.
sometimes when you take that two, you end up pausing, and that going to work is what deters you from ever completing your bachelor's. And by the time you say, okay, now I want to go back, you have other responsibilities, and you might not have the time or the resources, money to kind of go back. Or
Right.
unlike now, when you're still under your parents' roof and they can support you in one way, and you can just focus on school. So you aimed for that UMass because it was a 4 year, and you said, I need to get my bachelor's. That's true.
Yes.
Mm,
And my parents, yes, could support, but they could not fully support. So I had to
true.
go for financial aid. And
Mhm.
because they were making a certain amount of money, I
Yes.
never got the aid. I had to get a loan.
So that is very important. Like that's I think that's something people don't realize, that both your parents, like you have both your parents living in the same house,
Yes.
that both their money is considered.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be about for you to get a student
It's a
a
determinant. Yes.
it's a
Yes.
determinant. So did
Mm.
you go to the the financial aid office at UMass, or
Yes.
did you, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I did that, and yeah, that's all they could do for me. Being,
Yes.
they run everything. They run
Yes.
everything in the system, and that's what, when you apply, it
Mm.
goes through the system, as you already
Yeah.
know, and that's
Mm.
how we ended up with
The student loan to cater for it.
yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
how we ended up with the student loan, and I applied for it, and
Mm.
yeah, I didn't have to pay any amounts at the time
Yeah.
up until I got done.
Mm.
6 months after, they give you a grace period of after you graduate, they
Months.
give you a
Yeah.
grace period of like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you have to start paying.
Oh my
But you
goodness.
can yeah, as when you apply, you also have to decide how much you'll be paying back. You can do a
Mm.
standard, or you can do a little more, or a little more, depending on what you would like. So I
Yeah.
did the standard, and
Mm.
that's what I was paying at the time.
Yeah.
After the grace period, yeah, I started paying the amount, and with the financial aid, they subsidize and unsubsidized. But
Mm-hmm.
again, that also depends on what they decide.
Mm-hmm.
Some people get more unsubsidized or
Mm-hmm.
subsidized, depending.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm.
yeah, I got more of
The financial aid, yeah. So
yeah, I got more of the unsubsidized.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
think possibly because of your parents' income, like two parents, that income, it always affects how much the child will get at that point. Did you know the total cost of your like by the end of your 4 years? how much this degree will have cost you at the
I
beginning.
knew at the
You knew,
beginning, not
yeah.
really, but yeah, I had an idea.
Mm,
I had an idea. It was about $30,000, but
okay.
with the interest, it came up to 40.
Compounds, yeah. It
Yeah.
compounds. It
Hmm.
compounds. And
Yes.
did you feel like were there other like what do they call them? Student counselors who kind of just guide you? Because one thing I discovered, yeah, like for example, in Makerere, because I went to Uganda in Makerere, right? They already decide like you have your and you know about the A levels, Claire. So they you will have the tree of A level where you kind of decide, am I going to do sciences? Am I going to do arts? And for us, that's like the associate because it's 2 years after high school, right?
Right.
And then
Right.
by the time you go to uni, you've already declared like you're going to Makerere University as a nurse, as a doctor, to study engineering. Like you've
Yes.
already been
Yes. You've already
somebody,
declared, yeah, whatever you're
you've already
gonna.
declared, yes.
Mm,
And
mm.
somebody has laid out the courses, the course units you need for you to be able to do. But now here it seems like there are classes and you have to make sure you book yourself into these classes before they fill up, right?
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
realized. I'm like, okay, I come from high school where I study 8:30 to 2:30, and somebody else directs what I'm studying when I'm studying, and then suddenly you want me to be able to decide which
What
classes I
classes?
go
Yes.
into, and then to be
Yes.
quick enough to book them. Like we're talking about a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, right?
Yeah, you have to have the control. They give you the control. And
Which
if you're not mature enough, you'll mess yourself up by the time you wake up.
by the time you wake up, you have 20,000 in your 20,000
Yes,
in bed, right?
in debt. Yes, yes.
And I say this just to tell the parents out there, we need you. We need you, parents. We need you to be like, to not just think about, I need clothes, I need food, I need shelter. I do need these things, but when I reach high school, my senior year, like learn the system. Because in Uganda, your parents kind of hand you over to your teachers, and the teachers navigate and help. But here, if the parent is not intentional, because think about a 17-year-old, Claire, 18-year-old,
They
if they are
don't
going
know
to,
what they want.
they
They
have
don't
no
know.
idea. They have
Yeah,
no idea. And we are handing them the keys for this education that's not free for
yes.
them to make the decisions. So I feel like like in your opinion, at what point if you've just come in, right? Your parents brought you, you've just come in and you're going to enter college before you even start. Because sometimes we come like you came from university, you're like, I have to stay in school, right? But
Yes.
what kind of preparation did you have to make? Do you think you should have made just to make sure that by the time you jump into college, everything you kind of know exactly where you want to be, how you're going to be? What kind of preparation do you feel you should have made?
I feel that it's best to really communicate with your parents so they can help you or guide you or direct you to speak to the person that might give you the help that you might need in
Yeah.
order to know what you would like at the end of
Mhm.
the day, because we
Yes.
don't have that luxury, we don't have that much time
No, we
when
don't.
we get in. We don't
Mm.
have that much time, and it's expensive, you
It's
know.
expensive.
Yeah, it's an expensive for
Expensive.
you to kind of like just wait to decide, and you never decide, and maybe at the end of the day you'd have accumulated so much debt, or
Yes.
had to pay so much money, and
Yes.
you do not know what you want.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah.
So we need our parents, basically, because we are looking at a
Yes.
17-year-old, 18-year-old to help us figure out, preferably in our junior year, visit these universities, figure out exactly, at least have an idea where you're going, so that when you go in, you're ready. You're ready, really.
Yes.
You're really ready. So you decided. The good news is you completed your bachelor's. You did not do shortcuts. You didn't try to
No.
do 2 year. You said, I need my bachelor's, and that was
Yes.
a good base because then you
Yes.
are able to get into your nursing program. So tell us about your nursing program, Northeastern. How was that? Trying to juggle, online and going for clinicals and things like that.
Yeah, it took a lot out of me. It
Mm,
did. It was very, very stressful.
yeah.
You never had time for anything. And
No.
I felt bad for people that had families or young kids, or
Yeah.
yeah, it was very, very hard, and it was expensive, and
Mm. How much did
being that you could
Eastern
not
cost?
work.
How much did it
The
cost?
bill came in the beginning. It was about 50, maybe 55, like between 55 and
Mm.
50 and 55,000.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
then every year they kept putting the cost up higher.
Oh my God.
So it was maybe up to
Yeah.
$60,000, and it was a
And
15-month degree.
15 months. Okay.
Yes,
15
15 months.
intense months.
Yes,
Okay. All right.
yes.
And when did you graduate? Did you
Did
later
I?
transition? Did you graduate with Northeastern, or did you later transition?
I yeah, I later moved to a different school
Yeah.
in Puerto Rico.
Tell us about that, because people don't even, like, you go for your naturalization test and they ask you about what states belong to the United States. Puerto
It's a
Rico.
territory.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
territory.
Puerto
Rather.
Rico
What
is a territory
territory
of the
belongs to
United
the,
States. So
Puerto Rico, you say it very happily, and yet you don't realize that that is one shortcut. Because I have a friend of mine who actually is finishing. He went to a medical school there because he tried. He tried. I hope we get to host him one of these days here. He tried to get into medical school here, but some of the decisions he made as a young man affected him
affected
being,
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
and left him to medical school like in the States. So he thought about Puerto Rico, and he did his MBCHB, his medicine,
Master. Yeah.
and now he's back trying to do his residence. So that I want people to know that Puerto Rico is an option. It's cheaper,
Yes.
it's on campus. Yeah, tell us about
Yes.
that experience, that transition, like deciding, what, online is meant for me. I need a physical class, a physical teacher, physical classmates, and how that now transitions back, because people don't realize. I mean, Puerto Rico is a territory of America, right? And Uganda,
Yes, it is a territory. Yeah.
I come from Uganda and I was able to, get my license here and practice here. I'm practicing here. How about you who goes to Puerto Rico, which is a territory of America? It will even be easier for you to be able to get your license, and that's an option. So tell us about that, so that people can kind of open their minds towards that when they're doing their search.
Well,
Because
yeah. All I needed to do is um, transfer my credits.
mm-hmm,
So yeah, transfer my credits, and they
mm-hmm,
took some. They kind of
mm-hmm.
have the same system, being that
Yeah.
they're American. Also, they
Yes.
kind of have the same system,
Mm-hmm.
and financial aid also.
It
They
transfers.
relate to it, they use it, it transfers, and you can use it while you're there. So it doesn't matter. Like you should not feel like you cannot get the help, financial help that you need.
Mhm. If you choose to
Um,
go to a territory.
Yes, yes.
Mhm,
So at least that's also taken care of, and it's cheaper.
it's
It's a
cheaper.
lot cheaper
It is.
than school here. That's for sure.
How
Because
much sorry, go
how
ahead.
much?
Yeah, how
Yeah,
much would like an accelerated program go for? If you had
well,
decided, I've done my bachelor's in psychology, now I want to go into nursing, and you went straight to that Puerto Rico school, how much would that cost?
I don't believe that they have accelerated programs there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but they can help you reduce the time that you have to be there going to school.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they can
What
help
school?
you because they take some credits and
Yes.
kind of like, decide that, okay, maybe you don't need this, you don't need that, because they also
Yes.
have the same system. So that can
Yes.
help you speed up the process. But
Yes.
from what I went through, I never,
What school? What school?
like,
What school did you go to in Puerto Rico?
I went to, in English, it's the University of Metropolitan.
University of
In
Metropolitan.
Yeah,
Nice.
in Spanish, they call it
Ah,
Universidad Metropolitana. Yeah,
nice,
so they
nice.
they had classes in English.
Mm-hmm.
They had classes in English, and obviously the school was mainly Spanish speaking,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
had they instructed in Spanish mainly, but they also had
Mm-hmm.
some in English at particular times. So the
Yeah.
classes also run 5 weeks. So they
Mm-hmm.
had kind of like that. They had like a term system.
Mm,
Yeah. So that kind of also helped me speed up my process of
yes.
getting,
To get
things.
all the things you
Yes.
need. Do
Yeah.
you so do they have a bachelor's degree? Like if I'm a senior right now and I want
Mm.
to do a bachelor's degree in nursing, can I apply directly and get in?
Yes. Yes, they do have that.
How much do
They
you
do
think that
have that.
degree costs?
Um, it doesn't cost that much. I would think that maybe 30,000
Like a
or less.
fraction or
Yeah,
less, right? And
about
also the
30,000
housing
or
would
less.
be the housing is cheaper.
Yes, it is cheap. It's
That's
really cheap
another thing
because,
to consider.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I used to pay 250. Okay, we used to pay, I had a roommate, so
Mhm.
we paid $500 a month.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing. You know,
I know.
it's interesting. I say all this because these are things that we don't like. Some African parents are like, yes, I'll pay for my child. They have to go to school, but they're not thinking about the cost. I went. I paid. I think my mother paid 1,000. My mother, my mom, my
Mm,
dad, and my auntie. I think they paid about 1,000, maybe 300 per
mm,
academic year.
yeah.
1,300 in Uganda per academic year. Yes. Yes.
Only.
Only. So I want, yes, 1,300. Because I'm like trying to think about like the cost of uni by then was maybe about 1.2 million, and then the house,
Mm,
food, and then book.
yeah.
More. It roughly came around maybe 1,300. And I wonder
Right.
what in their minds, like if you're a United States citizen, right, and your parents are
Right.
Ugandan, they can help you navigate the bachelor's programs in Uganda, get your education in Uganda for a cheaper price, and come back and do your NCLEX. You know, if
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
if
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 that's
you're
what you want and you don't mind,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Don't mind if you're from the Philippines and your parents, can help you navigate and you get a university there, even if you're American, go study and come back and do your NCLEX
Yeah,
and you'll be just fine and you'll be equally
exactly.
qualified. You can sign up for some courses. I remember I was looking at a course, I think it was Boston College, where they kind of just orient you in terms of electronic documenting and just a clinic of some sort in a hospital that's set in America, you know?
I see, yeah.
So you could do that. You could do that. But all right, I will let you keep telling us about. So you finished your Puerto Rico. How was the experience there?
It
I
was,
kept seeing
it was
something
very
I never
different,
did. Yeah.
but the good thing is that, their food kind of like is like African food. So,
African
their
food,
food was good,
yes.
Yeah, we could cook for ourselves because we had a
Like your
stove, yeah, we had like a good place. And
mm,
we used to buy food, obviously, and it was just very hot sometimes.
very hot.
It was just very, very hot. It's
Yes.
much hotter than what we are used to
Oh
back
wow.
in Uganda or
Oh
here.
my
It's
goodness.
much
I
hotter.
couldn't fathom
Hmm.
that. Oh my
Yes, it
goodness.
is very, very hot. And what else was different? And obviously the language.
The
The
language.
language barrier, yeah, the
Yes.
language, I
Because they're
did not
predominantly
understand
Spanish speaking.
yeah,
They're
they are
predominantly
mainly
Spanish
Spanish
speaking.
speaking, yes.
Mm.
And also transportation. Those,
Transportation, huh?
yeah, yeah,
Oh
and
my
those
goodness.
were really the challenges. But we decided to get a place that was close to the school, so we were
Mhm.
like 5 minutes away from the school,
Oh,
so that kind
nice.
of helped. Yes.
Nice, nice. And I mean, and this has been a while, so maybe so much has changed. Like I keep visiting Uganda
Maybe.
every year, except this time when we had the pandemic, and I see there's so much change, like between when I finished school and now. So some of the barriers maybe have narrowed down. They might still be there, but it might not be as crazy, right? So you
Yeah.
finished, you did your NCLEX. Tell us about NCLEX, applying for your first job, choosing which job do I go to and all that.
Well, doing the NCLEX, I had a friend beat you
Me?
that, yeah, that was my tutor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, you helped me study, you gave me tips,
Yeah.
and obviously, you have to do the work.
You have to do the work.
Yeah, you have to do
There's
the
no
work.
way, there's no
There's no
two
way around it.
ways.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. You have to do the work. And I think you bring up something that's important. Like, I personally can't study on my own. I always give my sister as an example. Nakata, she's an amazing scholar. That girl, she can, like, she studies for a pastime, right? So some people are like her, very good. They will sit, they'll study, they'll get ready for the exams. But if you're like me, I always find another person who like understands the thing better, and they can tutor me, whether it's a peer or a teacher. I feel like when I talk to people, I retain more, right?
Mm, mm,
I retain more. So knowing that when you're preparing for your NCLEX, just knowing what kind of student are you, so that you don't lose.
yes.
Yeah, because I have some friends who finished a bachelor's degree and then they still till this day haven't done their NCLEX, and I'm like, you're losing out on money. You're losing out on money, and if you get in at some point, it becomes about how long you've been a nurse. Like, they pay you if you're applying for a new job, they'll pay you based on your experience as a nurse.
Experience as a nurse. Yes,
As a
that's
nurse, so
very
the
true.
longer
Yes.
you take to sit for that NCLEX, even if you have your bachelor's degree, if you
Uh,
haven't sat for that, if you haven't sat for your NCLEX and been
and
licensed,
worked.
and what you're losing out on that time where you be like, it makes a difference. $3, $5, $10, it makes a difference per hour, on how much you'll be paid. Yeah. So
That's very, very true. Yeah. So,
go ahead.
you were saying?
Yeah, so no, I'm just saying, like, that when people finish, it's wise to just go jump right in and sit for your NCLEX and just be done.
Yeah.
Just be done.
So,
Yeah. Mhm.
when I graduated, I was so tired, being that I was coming
I
from a
know.
different country and almost forgotten how to drive. I was scared to drive on the road here on the highway. But
Yeah.
anyway, I got in here and relaxed for my maybe about 6 months to 8 months.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Mm.
then after that, I got down to studying.
Business.
And
Yes.
yeah, I got down to it. And we used, was it, what book did you have me buy? I
We
forget what
have a
it's called.
Sanders, a Sanders.
Haha, the
There's so many out
Sanders.
there, but I love the Sanders. They have
Yes.
like different books, and now it's so funny. It's been 5 years. Oh my god, it's been 5 years since I talked to somebody else. Their book look different, like their Sanders, and even the questions they're being like that. It's different. Like the way to prepare now.
Mm.
So much is way different from when we sat for our
So when we were doing it, yeah.
yeah.
So I had that Sanders question book, and
Yes.
then I also had the Hast review.
Yes.
It was like an audio. I
Yes.
also got U World
Yes,
questions.
yes, I
Yes,
remember. Yes.
yes, and I also signed up for classes, review classes with a
Mhm.
company that I have really totally forgotten. It
Yeah,
was like a 5 week or 4 to 5 week, um, like classes.
class. Yes.
Yes, yes.
And that's important. And Claire, it's important you're mentioning that, because I remember you and I met at we were trying to get our TOEFL, our English exam. You remember?
Yes.
And you were my ride. I had no ride. I was trying to get into my master's program, and you were my ride, and then you became my study partner. But that decision to, like, people think it's a waste of money to pay for a preparation class, but no. If you feel like, you know what, I won't be ready in time, find a class. The good thing is these days people have like Yelp reviews about the programs, so you can actually know what you're getting into, right? So
Yes, yes.
if you must, find the right material, like, different. And I think preparing for NCLEX, you need to be able to have like the audio, the questions, and the actual read, like, if I'm not so strong in maybe cardiac medication, I have my pharmacology book, I can go back and study, but then also
And
the
review.
the
Mm.
practice questions, and also just
Yes,
listening. So
yes,
so that's important. I just thought, like, I should mention that people should, when you're preparing for your NCLEX, think about those things, like find a class if
yes,
you need to, find a
yes,
study
yes,
partner if you need to, whatever
yes.
whatever
Whatever
gets
it
on the other
takes,
side.
whatever it
Yes,
takes, you do it.
yes,
Yeah,
you do
whatever you
it.
have to. Yeah, and I didn't have to work hard,
Mm.
so I used to work just a few hours in the evening, and that
Mm-hmm.
really helped a lot. So I used to I had enough time in the daytime to study, and I had to also wake up in the night to study.
To study.
So yes, yes,
Did you live
yes.
with your parents when you came back from Puerto Rico? Did
No,
you live with your parents,
no,
or what
no,
was
no,
that?
no. I lived with my husband at that
So
time.
that's very important, because I mean, any support you can get, right? Like, it's good
Yes,
when you
yes,
have a
yes,
spouse who is very supportive of like your
yes.
goal. And
Uh-huh.
then, and if you don't have a spouse, if you have a parent, if you have friends, instead of getting a
Mm.
whole apartment on your own and pay like 1,500, pay
Yeah.
500 in a
Pay
room,
500. Yeah,
in
yeah,
a
yeah.
room, so that you can just work 2 days
You
and
can
the rest of the
focus.
days
Yes,
you're just a student.
yes, yes.
Drive
Because
your
it
own
doesn't make
car.
sense. Yes, it doesn't make sense to work so hard and you have this to take care of. You will never make the time.
Thank you.
And the longer you take to study, the
The harder.
more, yeah, the harder it gets, and you won't, you're not focused.
No.
You start to lose, the focus at some point. You
Yes.
have to have a target. So I
Yes.
had to decide on when to take it. I
Mm-hmm.
applied, and I did all of that process. They
Mm-hmm.
processed my classes
Mm-hmm.
through CGFNS.
Yes.
There's that
Yes.
company.
Yes.
Yeah, that I went through. They processed my degree, and
Yes.
then at that point, I just started to apply to do
Mm-hmm.
the exam.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got a date, and then I
You
told
started like,
myself I have to give it 3 months. It
yes.
has to be done in 3 months, whether I
Yes.
like it
I
or
like it
not.
or not. I
Yes,
better be ready.
yes. I did it
Yes.
the first time, but I was not ready. I took it
Yes.
for granted, and I
Mm-hmm.
had surgery about a week before I took it.
Oh my
So I'm like,
God.
you know what? Let me go and just do it and see what's out there. But after
Yes.
that, I'm like, okay, I need to
No,
sit
I
down
need to
and
be
do it.
ready and
Yeah.
get at it. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So
I
I said 3 months of study. I did those
Mhm.
classes
Yes.
for a month, and
Mhm.
then I did the host review.
Mhm.
Generally, I was leaving and reading the NCLEX.
The
That's
end.
all I did. That's all I did.
That's
You
what you
asked
are
me a question.
doing.
Yes, that's all I did.
Yes.
I studied 3 months, and I told
Mhm.
myself that I need to get this done, and this is it.
Yes, this
Yes,
is it. And it's
yes,
worth it. It's worth it, Claire.
yes,
Because I
yes.
mean, what now that you're a nurse, what do you feel like the advantages? Because for me, I always say that I don't know any profession that's open 365 days, 366 if it's a leap year, 24/7, except nursing. Like, there's
Yeah,
always so many nurses that are
there's
getting,
always a job. There's
yeah,
always a
a
job. There's
job
always
somewhere.
a
And
job. Even in the pandemic, in,
there's
out,
jobs,
everywhere. In the side, there's always a job.
always
There's
jobs.
always a job.
Yes,
They always
yes.
need you. Yes.
Tell us about your
So,
first interview for the job, the
um,
nursing job, first interview, first job
well,
experience. How was
yeah.
that?
Well, obviously, you come up with your resume that's almost empty.
Yes.
You hardly have anything to put in there.
Anything. Yes.
Yeah, so I applied to, I went on Indeed.com, applied to jobs, a few jobs,
Yeah.
and there was a nursing home slash assisted living. It had a semi acute unit.
Yes.
So I applied there. It was an
Mm-hmm.
Acton. I applied at that job, and I went for an interview. They called me in,
Mm-hmm.
and so I went for an interview. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, the director knew that, okay, she's a fresh
Yes.
graduate and she has no clue. So,
Yes.
I had to call my friend you to give me a few tips on what to
Yes.
ask
Yes.
and what to ask
Yes.
during the interview. So, she
Yes.
tells me, okay, how long have you been a nurse? I told her, I just graduated. So she
Mm-hmm.
kind of took it easy on me. She really did
Yes.
not ask me much because she knew that I had
Mm-hmm.
no idea.
Yeah.
And so, and she just told me about the place. So I felt
Mm.
like, okay, maybe I felt like she had given me the job right there.
Already, yes.
Yeah.
And I think, and those places need bachelors. They need bachelors because most people who are working there maybe are associates, especially those
Many of them,
schools.
yes.
Yeah. So when they see a bachelor's degree person, they're like, "Oh
They
no, we
want to
already
keep
have
them,
what it
yes.
takes. You will learn everything else. You learn on that job. You'll be
Yes,
just fine."
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm.
So they really are willing, and they just love to have bachelor's degree holders,
Mm-hmm.
as many as they can take. But
Yes.
yeah, so she gave me the job. and it was at a low rate, but I
I
did
know.
not
That's
care.
what I was going to say. They
Yeah,
will like
I did
give you
not
the
care.
lowest amount, but you don't have
Yes.
it because you have an
Mommy,
address. And I
mommy,
always tell
mommy,
people,
mommy, mommy.
you
Mhm.
have an
Mommy,
address so that
mommy,
at least when
mommy.
you apply elsewhere, you say, I work here, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
then also you have your feet
mommy,
wet.
mommy,
You
mommy.
work that
Yes,
you don't actually take care
mommy,
of
mommy,
other
mommy.
people beyond like what you are doing in your clinicals. Now you're like, okay, I have a whole load and it's just me and I have to distribute all these medications and make all these
Mommy,
physician
mommy,
calls and
mommy,
put in all these orders and
mommy,
like
mommy, mommy.
you need that. So it's as if you're paying for that education by them underballing you, giving you a
Yes,
long. You're also
yes,
having, and then also that choice of shift, because sometimes it might be slow at night, and you might want to maybe go in at the night shift and maybe learn more. But most times, some people are like, no, I will go straight for the day shift because I don't want to work night. And they just say, I'll just learn fast as I can. And unfortunately, these days, the employers are very, the employers always, they don't give you enough time to orient, right? Like you come in and they don't want to have you orient for long. Yeah, so you want to be ready to make use of the people who are orienting you so that you're ready.
no.
So that you're ready. You okay,
Mm.
Claire? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was writing on the bed with a pen.
Oh my God. I relate to that. I just today I just had a meltdown with my toddler. I want to make a sandwich.
Mommy,
I
mommy,
want to make a sandwich. Okay, let's make a sandwich. No, mommy, move your peanut butter. I'm like, girl, this is Claire. I am not the sandwich place. That's
Oh
our
my
children.
goodness.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
telling you,
my goodness.
it's
Yes.
an experience. But coming
Yeah.
back to this, people need to know, like when you interview and you start a job. Unfortunately, these days we don't have long orientation times, but
Mm.
it's okay for you to say, "I need more time."
Yes,
It's
it is very okay to ask for
very
more time.
okay. Ask for more time
Yes.
because they've already invested in you, paying you all this time you've been orienting. And if
Yes.
you're showing that you're willing and you're going to stay longer, they will give you an extra 2 weeks, an extra 3 weeks, just so that you really feel like, okay, I can carry my load. And then from there you can just fly and you find your rhythm as a
Yeah.
clinician,
Yeah.
you find your
Yeah.
rhythm.
Yeah.
So
So
far you've done bedside nursing, and how is it? Do you love it? Do you plan to transition? How is it balancing, bedside nursing and family and all that?
yeah, bedside nursing is very, very good because in
Mm,
school, obviously, we don't do as much clinical. So,
that's true.
you walk in there and you're intimidated. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what to do. You're scared of
Mhm.
people. You're scared of touching anybody. So this time you have to learn how to do it. And
Mhm.
the good thing at my first job, they gave me a whole month of clinical,
Oh,
training.
good.
So I
Oh,
had
good.
some, I had to precept for a month. And
Hmm.
for some people, they give them up to 3 months.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
this for
that's
the
what I
nursing
heard.
home and that work, yeah, yeah, they do. In the hospitals, they give
The
new grad, they
hospitals,
give them,
yeah,
yeah, they give up to
they
three
used
months.
to. They used to. I think for us, it's only that if you come in, they have a new grad program, so that I think they still give that to the new grad program. But me, who had already been a nurse for a while, when I came in, I think they gave me maybe 4 weeks or
Oh,
less.
me too. They gave me 4 weeks or less.
I
They wanted
think
even
for
to
all
be less.
less. I
Yes,
know.
in the hospital. But
Yeah, but you
anyway,
know what?
I
You will
go in.
see.
Yeah, I got
Mm,
in there. They gave me those weeks, and it helped a lot. Being that I was fresh, I got enough
yes,
help. I asked as
yes,
many questions, and then I
yes,
started to work. I had good
yes,
people that I was working with. Some of
yes.
about 2 or 3 of them were about my age, so
Oh,
we kind of
God.
related. Yeah, so that helped
Yes.
also. Then after 5 months, I
Mm-hmm.
moved to a hospital, and that's
Mm-hmm.
where it was different. Being in a nursing home, you have all these many people, but then in
Yes.
a hospital, you have maybe 5 to 6 patients to
Bad,
take
but very
care of. Y-
critical. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to get report, you have to give report, you have to write
Mm-hmm.
notes, you have a computer,
Mm-hmm.
a wow right in front of you that you're working with, you have to go to
Yes.
meetings, so you have to juggle all
Yes.
of these things. And then they have the shift changes where, if you do up to 7 o'clock, they have to give you some more patients. people that leave at around 3 o'clock, they have to give you their
Oh my
patients. So you have to kind of like,
God.
do admissions at the
That's the part
spur
I
of the
hate.
minute. You
Yes.
discharge at the spur of the
You're
minute. I
discharging
mean,
and
I was just,
admitting.
oh, yes. And you had to learn. I had to
Yes,
pray to God all the time to help me, not to make a mistake,
I know,
not to
because
mess
it's
up,
so
to land really
fast.
quickly. Yes, because it was
Oh
very
my
fast. It was
God.
very,
Oh
very
yeah.
fast. So,
And that's
yeah, by the
that's
time,
that daytime. That daytime is quite
yes, I did that.
admitting.
It's
You're
quite
admitting, you're
intense.
sending
Yes,
people. If you're a med
yes,
surg, you're sending people to surgery, or you're sending them
yes,
out for a CT
yes,
scan, and
yes, yes.
oh, and
All
they're
of
making
that. It was,
medication changes. If it's
yeah,
heparin drip, if it is
yeah.
potassium replacement, like, and you
Yes,
have to like
you
be
have to
you have
learn these things because, yeah,
oh goodness.
Lasix drip, the
Yes,
potassiums, the
yes,
pumps themselves,
the pumps.
everything was different. Yes, yes.
You know, Claire, it's
Sorry.
so funny you talk about the pumps because what people like, I practice in Uganda and practiced here, and what people don't realize that there are all kinds of pumps. Like the pump that's like a narcotic pump is different from like there are all
From
kinds
a
of
regular pump, yeah.
IV pumps, and
That
then we
will,
had some that were oh my
yeah,
god, I
because
can't remember.
the narcotic one, you need a key that has to come from the
There's
Pyxis.
all
I
kinds
mean,
of
it's all kinds of things that you have to change, you have to work around, and you have to learn quickly because
quickly.
nobody has time for to keep teaching you because
They
they
have
they
their own
expect
lives.
you, yeah, and they
Mhm,
expect you to know and to learn
mhm,
as quickly as
mhm.
you can because there's not enough time and
No,
nobody's trying to babysit anybody. So
no.
it's yeah, it has to be quick. You
It
have
has
to
to be
yeah,
quick.
you have
And then
to be
what?
on top of your game because before you know it, you're done and it's the end of the day. And also your life, people's lives are in your hands, so they don't have time to babysit anybody.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
it is. It
yeah,
is. It's a lot. It's a lot because, and then we practice in America where people do sue. Like it's very litigated. Like you
yes.
have to document well because some person might just wake up in the morning and just say, "I'm suing this nurse or I'm suing this hospital," and you better have documented everything so well.
Yeah.
I saw that. It's like, mommy, Pompedi said you can't quite take.
I'm
I
telling
love
you.
it. Yeah.
Meanwhile, my battery is running low. I'm up to 3%. So
Oh my God. All right. So
yeah,
we'll conclude. We'll conclude. Let's talk about your social life. The person you're with, Julius. How did you guys meet? How did you kind of balance this whole thing of like, okay, let's start. It's time to start a family. It's time to return to school. It's time to, like deciding all of those decisions. And I know like a part of your relationship was a long distance relationship to begin with, and you had to reconcile that. Like, tell us more about that because these are things that we people in the diaspora have to deal with, and the decisions we have to be intentional about if we want our relationships to succeed.
well, we met, very young. We met, but obviously we're not going out.
No.
Yeah. So we've known
Yeah,
each other for so long since high school. We've
I
known each
know.
other. But, people change as we grow up. We change.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
it's like, having a whole new human being in your life. So I will not say that, that high school sweetheart, things. It was
Yeah,
not like
because
that.
they
Yeah. Yeah.
transition. Yeah,
Because,
they transition.
yes.
You transition.
Yes, you change,
Mm,
the person changes. So anyway,
mm,
yeah, we were in the long distance relationship for maybe 2 years. I
yeah.
would I would say maybe two, three
Mm,
years.
mm,
But at
mm.
the time I was in nursing school, so
Yes.
at the
You
very
are
end is
busy.
when he came. Yeah,
Mm,
so I was busy. At the very end
which
is when
worked
he
out
moved here.
well.
Yeah,
Mm,
which worked out well. And
mm,
after that, we moved in with each other. And
mm,
then I did my exams. We
mm,
worked. I started working.
mm.
Sorry. Yeah, I
No, that's
started working, and then um, sorry.
oh, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, she's distracting me. So I
I'm
started
sorry.
working, and
Yeah,
he was also working. This whole time he worked and worked,
yeah,
and then then at the end of the day, somebody's getting old.
Yes, yes.
Well,
You
you
know, it's
you
about
have to
that.
decide. Yeah,
Yes,
you have to decide
to
because
decide
we've got to
as
know
a
each other.
woman,
Yeah, and
we have
then I had
biological clocks.
clocks. Mm,
Yeah, we have to decide. I
yeah.
remember when I met Jack, I said, okay, you know what? The decision to start a family and have children, I'll leave it in your hands. And him, he was never ready. So at
No,
some point,
no, no,
I had to
no.
say, okay, I am not getting any younger, and I really wanted kids. And then we decided to have children, and then it took us 2 years to actually have a son, our little first girl. So
Mm,
it can be a real issue when, because most times we are focused on our career and then we delay the decision to start a family,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
that now
yeah.
becomes another issue altogether.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Um,
have to decide, but like you said, the guys never decide. So I had to
yes,
bid on it because I'm also sometimes very indecisive. I kind of left
yes,
it to him, but I
yes,
I could tell that he was not going to do it.
yeah, to
So I had
decide.
to be like, you know what, we have to start now.
Yes,
Yeah, but handling that and working, I had to transition to home care, being that I'm a little more flexible. It gives me
yes,
better time to deal
mm,
with home stuff. Unlike him, his job is not as flexible as mine. Yeah,
yes,
so
and
that's
that's
why I
important.
decided the home care. But the homework also kills me, but it's a
Mm,
lot easier
in times
uh,
of time.
in times of time. Yes, yes.
So did you decide to take? Are you taking a baby to a daycare? How is that working out?
Well, right now, yeah. So I wanted to start taking her to a daycare, but my sister-in-law lives close by, and she's a stay-at-home
Nice,
mom. So
nice,
yeah, I know. So she lives right next door. So I
nice.
take her there, and she stays with her for as long as I work.
You need to,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And
So
and the
it's really worked
decision,
out.
and the
It's
decision
really
to
worked
buy
out.
your home, Claire, like did you decide to buy it right next to your sister-in-law, or did it, how did that happen? Because that's another thing people have to think about, like trying to plan your life so that you're close to family, because when you're starting a family, you're going to need another family to support you, through that journey of raising kids.
No, it wasn't decided. It was not decided. But then when we got a house,
Yeah.
after a year, they also wanted to start looking for a home because after
Home,
that, they
nice.
were ready. They felt like they were
And they
ready.
had
Yeah, so
you.
yeah, and they
They had
had
you.
us, and the
Yeah.
school district where we were was very good. Although
Yes,
we
very
did not
good.
even have any plan at the time when we got the house, we did not even know
Think about
what,
the school
if we
district.
did not think. We just felt like, oh, this house looks
It's
good
beautiful.
location, it's quiet, let's get it.
Yes,
Yeah,
let's
but
get
but it had good schools. So we told them, this place has good schools. So
yes,
when they were looking around, fortunately, the house was close to us, so they got that, and it
nice.
worked
So it
out for
worked
them.
out
Yeah,
well. That's how God
yeah,
plans
yeah.
his things.
Right,
Well,
right.
I'm so excited for you. I wish we had more time,
I
but I have
know.
to invite you again. I have to invite you again. This month, we are focusing on career and education, and we're trying to guide our seniors in high school which way to go, and other people who are planning to kind of join 2022, because the journey starts now if you're planning to go to school next year. So we're trying to put out all this information regarding school, regarding career, how to look for money to go to school, to bridge that gap between the desire to do college and the cost of it, right? But I
Yes.
want to invite you again one of these days just to speak about motherhood in the diaspora, meals and friends and play dates and all those things that we talk about that are important. So I want to say thank you for joining us today. I know it's your busy mom, but you've made the time. Hi, Claire. Are you still with us? Okay, so Claire has probably I know her battery was almost dying, but thank you so much, Claire, for being with us today. If you're out there and you have another degree, it's not science related, you can transition into nursing. And I also want to let you know that if you're here for the first time, Appreciate with BT, hit that subscribe button, like this video, share with a friend. We have so many videos. I feel so horrible, you guys. Oh, I wish you had listened to that conversation with Dr. Nalongo Caro. She blessed us this morning. Well, she blessed me because I'm the only one who listened in. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to save that video that we did take for me to share with you guys. But hopefully we'll get her. She has transitioned from nursing to medicine, from practicing in Uganda to practicing in the UK, and she has a very amazing journey. And that was Claire. Claire has transitioned from psychology to nursing, and transitioning from going to school in the United States to a territory of the United States in Puerto Rico, and then transitioning back to the United States, and a mom and a wife and all those amazing things, trying to juggle life. So thank you so much. Like this video, share. May God watch over you. May God give you a determination that will just spring you into the next season of your life. Don't be afraid to reach out, to ask for help, to do it, because you can. You have what it takes. See you next time on Afri Sent with BT. Bye-bye.